Hi, K-Kids. It's me, Mrs. Rosno. Welcome to Friday. Hooray for you and congratulations. You worked really hard this week. It was a tough week, really tricky. But hooray, you persevered and you showed stamina and you worked really hard and got all the way to the end. So hooray for you. We are reading Chapter 8 of Junie B. Jones and the Mushy Gushy Valentime by Barbara Park tonight. Chapter 8 is called Who Knew? Pretty soon, the bell rang for recess. I hurried over to my friend Grace, because maybe she would help me find my secret admirer. Both of us skipped outside to the playground. Then all of a sudden, I stopped real fast, because I accidentally left my beautiful Valentime on the table, and I didn't want anyone to take that lovely thing. Wait, Grace, wait right here. I will be back in a jiffy. After that, I ran my fastest back to room 9. And guess what? I spied that meanie Jim at my table, and he was picking up my beautiful Valentine. Hey, what do you think you are doing, mister? I yelled real loud. Then I zoomed to my table zippity-quick, and I yanked that card right out of his mitts. After that, I started running to the door, but Meanie Jim springed in front of me, and he held up his hand. Stop, he yelled. Don't take that Valentine outside. If you take it outside, you'll get it dirty. I made squinty eyes at that boy. No, I will not get it dirty, I said back. And anyway, this is not your beeswax, Jim. Jim stamped his foot. Yes, it is too, my beeswax. Looney B. Jones, he yelled. That card costed me a whole month's allowance, and I don't want you to get dirt on it. As soon as he said it, he quick put his hands over his mouth. But I already heard his words and did a gasp. You, Jim? You are the one who bought this card? I asked. Why? How come? Is this some kind of meanie boy joke? Jim started sputtering a real lot. Yes. Well, no. I didn't buy that card. It just looks like it costed a lot of money. That's all. And whoever bought it probably spent his whole allowance, I bet. I kept on staring and staring at that boy, 'cause something smelled like fish here. That's why. But if you are not the one who gave me that Valentine, then how come you're acting so funny, Jim? I asked. And how come your words are sputtery and nervous? And how come your face is reddish and blotchish? Just then, Jim clunked himself in the head. Darn it! I knew I'd ruin it. I always ruin everything. Now everybody in room 9 will know that I like you, and I want it to stay a secret, he said. All of a sudden, my whole face felt happy. You like me, Jim? You really, really like me? 'Cause you never acted like you like me. And so, since when did you like me? That's what I would like to know. Jim's face got a silly look on it. I've always liked you, he said real quiet. I just act like I don't like you so nobody will know I like you. I looked confused to him. But if you like me, Jim, how come you always call me names? Jim shrugged his shoulders. Well, because you call me names, he said. I did a big breath. Yes, Jim, I know I call you names, but that's because you started it first, I explained. No, I did not, he said. You started it first. I shook my head. No, Jim, you did, I said. No, Junie B, you did, he said back. No, you did. No, you did. No, you. Well, all of a sudden, Jim raised his hand in the air, and he waved it all around. So I called on him. Jim, I said. Maybe we both started it, Junie B. he said. Maybe we both started calling each other names on the very same day. Just then, I started to smile, 'cause that would be fair of us, I think. After that, I skipped around him in a happy circle on account of this was a nice development. I grabbed his hand. Hey, Jim, let's go tell Mrs. that we're friends. Want to? 'Cause she will get a kick out of this, probably. But all of a sudden, Jim plopped down on the floor, and he wouldn't even budge. I stared and stared at the top of his head. Okay, this doesn't actually seem like that good of a start for us, Jim, I said. He looked up at me. I know, he said, but I can't tell the teacher that I like you. I can't tell anyone. If I tell people, it will ruin everything. I wrinkled up my eyebrows. Everything like what? I said. Like all my friends will know I like girls, and that will be embarrassing, he said. Plus room 9 won't ever be the same again. I did not understand. Why, Jim? Why won't it be the same? I asked. Because it will just be dull and boring, that's why, he said. Because if you and I like each other, then I won't tease you anymore. And if I don't tease you, then you won't tease me back. And that means you won't shout silly, funny stuff at me that makes people laugh. He rocked back and forth on his feet, very bashful. You make room 9 sparky, he said, kind of quiet. After that, he smiled very cute, and he poked my arm with his finger, and he made a sparky sound. Zzz, he said. Zzz, zzz. I laughed very loud. And then I sparked him back. Zzz, zzz, I said. And so guess what? Then me and him, that silly guy, we started chasing each other all over room 9. And we kept on poking and sparking. And it was the funnest game I ever even heard of. Only too bad for us, because all of a sudden, we heard a noise at the door. Oh no, it was Mrs. She caught us in the room. Hey, what's going on in here? She said. You two are supposed to be on the playground. Me and Jim stopped very fast. Then Jim looked nervous at me because he was afraid I was going to tell a secret, I think. Then all of a sudden, I pointed to him, kind of mad. It's his fault, Mrs., I said, because Jim poked me and made a sparky sound. And then I had to poke him back and make a sparky sound too. Only couldn't let that be the end of it, Mrs. And so pretty soon we were chasing and sparking and chasing and sparking. Only just now you came in the door. And so the chasing and sparking are over, apparently. And so we will just be on our way back to the playground, I believe. I tapped on her. Pardon me while I get by, I said, very polite. Mrs. rolled her eyes way back in her head. Honestly, you two, it's Valentine's Day, she said. Can't you just get along for one day? After that, she took us by our hands and she marched us outside. We waited for her to leave. Then he looked at me kind of shy. You did good, said Jim. Thank you for not telling my secret. I smiled at that nice boy. That's okay. Thank you for being my mushy gushy Valentime, I said back. After that, I faced my eyeball at him. Wink, wink, Jim, I said. Wink, wink, wink. And guess what? Jim pointed his eyeball right back at me, and he winked. Very perfect. After that, we runned off to play with our friends, or else people might think we liked each other. And that would ruin everything. That is how come I never, ever told anybody about Jim's secret. Not even my bestest friends, Lucille and that Grace. 'Cause Meanie Jim is the bestest secret admirer I ever had. And guess what else? Room 9 is still staying sparky. Zzzt. And that is the end, K-Kids, of chapter... Oh no! It's the end of chapter 8. But it's also the end of the whole entire book. We have finished our 3rd Junie B. Jones chapter book together, friends, since being home. Junie B. Jones and the Mushy Gushy Valentime by Barbara Park. And now we know it was Meanie Jim all along. That was a great book. I really enjoyed that book. I think I love all of the Junie B. books. Okay, so here we go. Our next book. My goodness, I can't believe we're on our next book already. Whew. Junie B. Jones has a peep in her part. Let me say that again, Mrs. Rosno. Junie B. Jones has a peep in her pocket by Barbara Park. That sounds really, really good. So, okay, kids, next time I see you, we'll have a brand new Junie B. book to read. Stay healthy, stay safe, get a great night's sleep. I miss you very, very much, but I love getting together to read Junie B. Jones like this. I'll see you tomorrow for our new book and chapter 1. Have a great night. Bye-bye.